Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites. How we doing today? How are we today? Don't forget today, towards the latter part of our show, we will be taking calls. So therefore, I'll be dropping the link later on for all those ladies that may want to come up and speak their piece. Agreement is not necessary. Respect is, though. So I'm going to be dropping the link later on. But right now, I just want to talk to the ladies about being DQ'd from any serious dating. Thank you so much for kicking off the contributions. Your excellence at showing some more love. Haven't been dropping on you and Little Big Sis in a while, yet y'all keep dropping these jewels for all of us. Me and Siobhan never left. Thank you so much, and say hey to Miss Siobhan for me. Thank you, Miss Cheesa. Miss Cheesa, how you doing, sweetheart? Thank you so much for your contribution as well. Okay. So I really just wanted to talk to the ladies because all week we've been talking about what qualifies, what doesn't qualify you for serious dating, how women disqualify themselves. And the video that I did earlier today sort of drove the point home in a very simplistic way. For those of you who missed it, you can go back and check out the video that I dropped earlier this morning. In that video, when they did a poll, when they tried to ask men about what they were looking for, what qualified a woman for a second date, the men said three things. She has to be attractive to him. Okay. She has to be attractive to him. She needed to be kind, nice, kind. And she needed to have a good conversation. He needed to be able to talk to her. Okay. Those are super simple things. But so many women have allowed the simple things to escape them. And therefore, they disqualify themselves to a large degree from any kind of serious dating, from any kind of marital talk, and just being able to weed out men that are playing or willing to play games from the men who are actually looking for relationships. Because for all of this talk that we have daily on this channel, on other channels, on other social media platforms where relationships are discussed, or the division between men and women, the mindset, and all of those sorts of things. Amid all of that talk, what's really getting lost is that a lot of times the women are so focused on the money and image, a supposed lifestyle, and all of these things, that they forget how to be women. and they forget how to be how to be able to connect. And a lot of times it's the simple things that's really disqualifying y'all. Y'all think that it's some big thing. Listen, men are not marrying the finest chick that they ever been with. They really not. Men are not marrying the finest chick that they ever been with or think they could get. Because a lot of times the finest chick, and that can be relative, but let's say the finest chick he can get is really pretty. A lot of times she a headache. She's a headache. She's a headache. She's a lot of times she crazy. Let's just call a thing a thing. She not all there. She not all there. So he's not trying to marry her. Let's run through a couple of things that's not disqualifying y'all to the degree that you think it is. Your age. Your age is not the biggest disqualifier that you have. If you're 30 something years old, or even if you're 40, there are men who would deal with you. There are men who would deal with you. There are men who would take you seriously in a relationship. Your age isn't necessarily all by itself disqualifying you. It's the attitude. Y'all let the 3 simple things that y'all got mad at Kevin Samuels about disqualify y'all. And he said, be fit, be feminine, and be friendly. And y'all can't manage that. And that's where the real disqualifiers really come from. Because there are women in their 40s that's bad, baby. Okay? It's women in their 30s. You don't just all of a sudden become this ugly creature when you become 32, 33, 34. You don't, if you keep yourself up and you are not an ugly woman to begin with, and you keep yourself together, men are going to find you physically attractive. And they're going to find you physically attractive enough to talk to you and try to be around you. Okay? Don't let the talking points fool you. Do men prefer younger women? Yeah, but that depends. That's relative too. Because a man that's 50, 35 is quite a bit younger than him. And this I've gotten from men. None of the 45 to 50-year-old men actually want a 19 or 20 or 22-year-old woman. They don't actually want her. That's sound good in theory. And the reason they don't want her isn't because something wrong with her, is because she's a little too green. She's a little bit too green. She's got that amount of chaos, just the right amount of chaos to drive him crazy. And he no longer has the patience to do that anymore with a woman that young. So it's cool in theory. Now, if he's in his 20s, yeah, he want a 20, 21-year-old. If he's 30, he want a 20, 21-year-old. That age gap is not so ridiculous that he don't have patience to get. He got plenty patience to deal with her. He got a lot of fire that he can deal with her with. Not a problem. A lot of energy for that. To a man that's 50, 55, 60, you in your 30s, you are young enough for him. You're young enough. So it don't necessarily just be your age. It's not necessarily your age. You got an attitude. That's what's wrong with you. You know it all. That's what's wrong with you. You got too much to say. That's what's wrong with you. You don't have good followership. That's what's wrong with you. That's what's wrong with you. If we went back to the list that the men created, matter of fact, Matter of fact, we're going to go back to the list itself. Okay. And I'm not going to focus on everything, but I'm going to focus on a couple of things that the women need to really pay attention to. Okay. Number 12, I'm going to dig into again. The weak or the absentee father. You know what? Let me do it like this. Let me put a little spin on it. See, the single mother thing wouldn't have been so bad. There was a time where men were more willing to deal with a woman that had one kid, maybe two. They were little kids. There was a time where men didn't quite mind that. But I'm going to tell you why they didn't mind that. What was going on at a time where men didn't necessarily mind single mothers? Back before y'all was having multiple baby daddies. Let's start there. It was a time before y'all was having multiple baby daddies. You would have been all right had you not made a hustle out of the single motherhood. You would have been all right had you not made a hustle out of the single motherhood. It would have been okay had you not decided that single motherhood was preferential to dual parenthood in the home. Because there was a time where just because a woman had a child, that didn't make her ratchet. That didn't make her a ratchet. She still understood how to be a woman. She still understood what it was to do what she needed to do to keep a man. She still understood that. So that man might have passed away or some other, you know what I'm saying? He's not around. She's been raising kids, but she's not out there acting crazy. She wasn't the one that destroyed the family. She had her head on straight still. See, there was a time when a woman could have said, well, I was 16 and I had that child and that relationship didn't work. And you know what I'm saying? Now I kind of understand better what I'm doing. She had one. She didn't allow the children to disrespect the man. And she did not disrespect him. If he stepped into the role of a stepfather, she knew, she was grateful. She understood not to disrespect this man. Listen, those kids were under his jurisdiction. And it was what it was. Wasn't no such thing as don't touch my kids. Or you can't say nothing to my kids. Or you don't have authority over my children. My be an authority. You can't be a disciplinarian over them, and we're going to gang up on you when we get ready. See, there was a time where you being a single mother to one, possibly two children by the same man, that would have been it would have been okay. So you could have got away with that. But see, now it's a hustle. Now you've proven that you think lowly of a man if he were to come to you and try to be a father to children that are not his and try to take you on seriously as a wife. You set men up. You have, you use the children against them even when they're not theirs. You pin the children on them, steal for a child support hustle. So you disqualify single mothers. Women disqualify single mothers. Not men. Women disqualified them because of the mindset that you have and the way in which you have behaved as a group. Okay? So you disqualified the women. Women with tattoos. Y'all get them all over y'all bodies. Y'all get them in y'all face. Y'all get them all over. See, you might be able to get away with a little bitty little tattoo somewhere. Men are not quite that strict. So if you got a little bitty one on your arm or you got a little flower somewhere, they ain't too much tripping on that. What they tripping on is you with your baby daddy name scrawled across you somewhere. This scrawled across your butt. And now, whenever he see you naked, he got to see this other dude's name scrawled into your skin to remind you and him that you cared enough about some dude that's no longer around and in your life enough to engrave him on your body. Meanwhile, you will call yourself disrespecting him. So you disqualify. You disqualify yourself for that. You got full sleeves. Like I said, you got face tattoos. You got tattoos that cannot be hidden. And a lot of the times, I'm going to tell you something else about the tattoos a lot of times. The tattoos have a connection usually with a man. Rarely are the tattoos in connection with something else other than some dude that you were so in love with and so in lust with that he's all over your body. Women who dress like this in public, you would have been okay. You would have been okay had you just been regular with your dress. Nobody said you had to dress like a nun. Nobody said that. Nobody said you had to be covered from head to toe every time you come out the house. But I'm going to tell you the problem, how you disqualify yourself, these modern ladies, because he can't even say you're wearing your clothes are too revealing. They are too revealing. How many of y'all, he can't tell me what to do. He can't, you know what I'm saying? He can't control what I wear. He trying to be controlling. No. It's about the respect of the relationship. It's about the fact that you should no longer be advertising to men about what you look like and wanting to have that kind of attention drawn to you while you are in a relationship. That's how you DQ'd with the clothes. And talking about some, I was wearing this when you met me type situation. That's not a pass. I'm going to tell y'all why that's not a pass. Because he may have seen other qualities in you that he liked. Your clothes was not one of them. Yes, you are attractive, but he probably thought in the back of his mind, I can get her away from that. I'm going to try to get her away from that. But first, I have to be in a relationship with her before I can exert that authority with her. So you are DQ'd because of the mentality that you have. It disqualifies you. Why am I going through the list again? Sex work, no excuse for sex work. Sex work is just no excuse for that. No excuse for that. The reason why a lot of this stuff is on here is because women have taken these things too far individually. Y'all have taken this travel thing. We know what it's about now. That this drinking, we know what it's about now. We know what all of this stuff means. So you can no longer try to act like we don't understand this. You have allowed simple things to disqualify you out of being taken seriously as a marriage partner or a woman that really should be in a relationship, because you look for ways to try to disqualify men, and it don't make no sense. Y'all holler about settling. But before we can talk about what man you may or may not be, quote unquote, settling for, let's talk about who you are. If y'all cannot even deal with fit, feminine, and friendly, and them just three basic things, then how is a man supposed to come along in your life and see quality in you, and you can't even be friendly? You can't even have a good demeanor and disposition about yourself. Y'all are mean. Do y'all understand how mean y'all are? Do y'all know how mean and unapproachable you are? Don't nobody want to say hi to you or nod or acknowledge you because you have an attitude. And you choose to be unhappy. You choose to have an attitude all day. It's not nobody's fault your life is what it is. If you don't like the way your life going, then you need to make some changes. And a lot of that time, it start with your attitude. Y'all be spiteful. Y'all ready to cuss folk out. Even with other women. I'm gonna speak a piece on something. It's a little bit of a sidebar. And I'm gonna get to super chats in a little bit. Sometimes people ask, men specifically, they ask, why is it that the women don't check other women like in real time, in real life? It's a couple of reasons for that. Y'all can speak out online because sometimes y'all don't even do that. But I'm going to tell y'all why. Put a 1 in the chat if you really want the answer to this. The reason why We don't do that. And see, I'm going to focus on this. Scared. I'm going to focus on scared. Because it's not so much fear as we know we going to be by ourselves. See, men have a different way that they do that. If men see a man way out of pocket doing something in public, a man will say something to that man. If there are other men, even if they don't know each other, if they are other men and all the men agree that this one dude is out of pocket, all the men gonna squad up and be like, nah, you can't do that. You can't do that here. Whatever it is, that you can't do it. The men are going to get together. It could be 2, it could be 3, it don't gotta be a big crowd. But if it's one dude acting a fool and there are other men, the men are going to be like, nah, you can't do that, because that's how men operate. Yes or no? Women don't operate like that. Even if there are other women around that disagree with what that woman is doing, if one woman says something, she's on her own with that. So if she gotta get jumped by the hyena and the rest of her hyena friends for speaking up, other women are gonna let her get jumped for that. Now later, they'll agree with her. Girl, yeah, she was wrong for that. Yeah, but you're gonna let me get a beat down for that. You're gonna let me do it. Women are going to let you do it. We know we're going to have to fight. We know that. So what we think about is, do I really want to get into a scrap with this chick? Especially if she got friends. Because we know if it's 3 of them, I'm about to get jumped by 3. And I might not be able to whoop all 3. I might not be able to do that. So am I willing to take a beat down in a group because I wanted to say what was right? I wouldn't be wrong. I'm just going to be alone. If women operated like men do, you'd have more women able to speak up, because I know if it's another woman that get on code with me, if we got to fight, we all going to scrap. And it'll just be what it is. See, men will do that. Women won't do that. We don't operate that way. We just don't. See, if it was just going to be words, we could take that. But with the way how masculine these hyenas are, they'll fight. And so now you got to get into a fight. If I'm a lioness with my kids, do I really want to get into a fight? Bad enough if I get into an argument, because if I get into an argument, now who's the hyena and who's the lioness? See, you see what I'm saying? That's what that's about. So it's not like we don't know what's right and what's wrong. We just have to weigh whether or not somebody got bail money. And do we want to deal with that? Let's see. Thank you, Miss Lucasey, for your super sticker, sweetheart. I appreciate you. Thank you, Steve said, just getting in. What up, good sister and good peeps? Thank you so very much. Thank you so much again, Steve. Thank you, Samuel. Said these so-called beautiful women are troublesome to a man, young or old, unless she's building with him. That's true. Thank you, Bakish, for your super sticker, sweetheart. Thank you so much, Jared. Said, have you seen the new petty list moderns made about the type of men just as transactional and delusional as the first list, petty retaliation? I have not seen it, and I can imagine how petty it is. Thank you so much. Thank you, Charles. Said that list is for passport bros, and we winning. Thank you so much, Theo, for your contribution. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, professors. And the only time I've ever seen Black women check other Black women is when they're protecting white women or white men. Right? So I just wanted to let y'all know why you don't see a lot of lionesses checking a lot of hyenas. We are severely outnumbered. Severely. It's not 1 to 2. It's like 10 to 1. It's 10 or 15 or 20 to 1. Even in the wild, lionesses don't do that. If it's 1 or 2 lionesses, she is not gonna go over there to 10 or 15 hyenas. She's not gonna do it because she's going to be killed, and she know that. That's why she called a lion, because he can handle 10 or 15 of them, and a lioness simply cannot. And do y'all really want y'all, if you got a lioness for a wife, you really want her every other day, every other time she go? Because there's a lot of hyenas out there, and they do a lot of outlandish stuff daily. I see a lot of foolishness. You really want to have her calling you, or you really want that? Every time you turn around, she done got into a fight, an argument, an altercation with some chick. However, with that being said, that does not excuse the lioness for never speaking out. Because you do have to speak out. And if you're more comfortable doing that online, then do it online. There will come a time where you have to do that in person. So I suggest you be ready to do that as well. But you do need to speak out. With your family members, close people around you in that outlandish, outrageous foolishness, you got to say something about that. Especially if somebody asks you. Especially if somebody coming to you and want to know your opinion. Do not just go with the hype, go with the crowd. Oh, okay. Just not to make no waves, because you're going to have to make a wave. You have to make a wave somewhere. You have to make a wave somewhere. Because I have had to say something to hyenas about the way they treat them kids. You're not going to be able to just flat cuss a kid out and abuse a kid in front of me. I'm going to say something about that. And yes, I have gotten into arguments with that. Yes. Bad ones. Because it triggers me anyway. You're not going to just cuss no 2-year-old out like that. What's wrong with you? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on a commercial break, and then we're going to be back to talk about how to not DQ yourself. So after these messages, we'll be right back.
Hello, my Crimsonites and all of my supporters. I invite you to go and get your copy of my new book, Reclaiming the Black Feminine, The Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery, on sale now at crimsoncure.com. This is guaranteed to change your perspective and positively impact your life. So go ahead now to crimsoncure.com and get your copy today.
So go ahead to crimsoncure.com, pick up your copy of Reclaiming the Black Feminine, Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery. All right, on sale right now at crimsoncure.com. Link is in the chat. It is also in the description. I have also pinned the link to StreamYards at the top of the chat. So in a moment, I'm going to open up the call-in line. If you want to, you can go ahead and click the link. You don't automatically show up. I have to put you on the screen. So if you are wanting to hit the link and call in with your opinions, your thoughts on topic, it could be off topic. You can have smoke for me. I don't care. We're just going to mutually respect. That's all. You need help? That's fine. We're good. Okay. I will require you to get on camera at least in the background so I can see that you're a real individual. Okay. But in any case, how to not DQ yourself out of relationships. Like I said, the one or two things individually on, let's say, that list, for example, those things are not disqualifying you. Quote unquote, hitting the wall is not disqualifying you necessarily. Getting older, aging, that's not necessarily disqualifying you. And I'm saying these things on their own are not necessarily standalone disqualifiers that are stopping you from getting into relationships. It's really your mindset. It's really the way you look at men. It's really the way you see yourself. Having a degree, that's not stopping you. Having some money, that's not stopping you. Having any of that stuff, that's not stopping you. It's what you do with it. It's what you say. It's how you behave. When men say they want a good follower and a good submissive woman, they are not saying they don't want a woman to ever speak. But when you talk, what do you say? When you talk, what do you say? Are you emasculating? Are you condescending when you talk? What are you doing? Fit, feminine, and friendly. It's not hard. This is not a difficult thing to do. If you are not fit already, if you got weight to lose, then work on it. Then work on it. Men are not out here marrying the baddest chick. They just want a woman that is attractive to them. I see the people coming into the background. Just flip your camera on real quick so that I can see you, even if you don't want to be on camera. Okay, I see you. So we're going to, I've seen a few people come in and drop off. If you're unfamiliar with StreamYards, if you are on a mobile device, it can be a little iffy, but give StreamYards the permission to use your microphone and use your camera. Okay. If you flip away from it on your phone, it will most likely kick you out of the app. You'll come out of the background. So once you come in, if you're on a phone or tablet or any mobile device, just stay. Because if you flip around or you get a phone call or something like that, it's gonna kick you off or it's going to not behave properly. But in any case, how you doing today, Brother Terrence? How you feeling?
Hey, beautiful black sister.
Can you speak up just a little bit?
Hey, beautiful black sister.
Hey, how you doing? How you feeling?
Oh, good. By God's grace, mercy, and permission.
Okay, what you got for me today?
Can I complain a little bit?
A little bit, go ahead.
Where is your beautiful husband?
Unc is gonna
We
show
want
up.
we starving for that
I
beautiful brother.
know, I know, I know. We gonna film Unc and Auntie. We got it has been a longer adjustment period than I think either of us understood it was gonna be
Yes,
after I
ma'am.
moved from Chicago to here. And it's been going well. It's actually been going well. But I got a lot of new ideas and just trying to put them together in a way that's meaningful to everybody has
Right.
been a little bit of a challenge, but we definitely are going to do Uncle Auntie. Y'all gonna see Unc. Unc
We
be in the chat too.
we
Y'all just don't know exactly who he is.
we out here starving for that brother because we wanna drink from his fountain of wisdom.
Okay. And he'd be more than happy to give it as well. He's
Yeah,
talkative.
he's got to be a beautiful brother because he attracted a beautiful sister.
Yeah, he's awesome. He is awesome.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
very much in love with him. He's a great man. He
Praise
really is.
God. Praise God. But what's the subject? Why they're not attract? What makes them not?
What is disqualifying these women? If especially ladies, if you having some trouble.
What's
It
this?
can even be off topic. I don't mind. It doesn't have to be exactly this topic for the ladies to come through.
What's the answer to what's disqualifying the females was given by a wonderful sister named Crimson Cure when she's been teaching for years that a female has to be under system, order, and structure of a man. And see, the father, what's destroyed the black community is fatherlessness, and the fathers being destroyed. And that's what makes you one of the great teachers in the world is that you had a great relationship with your father and you light up when you talk about it. And a female has to be under system, order and structure, because that's the law of God, and that's what you call divine order. And a father is actually the first husband for his daughters, and he's the training ground for his daughters, and he's the daughter's first husband without the physical aspects and elements, and she learns how to deal with her husband directly from her father. And like you teach so beautifully and so well for the past few years. And if that does not occur, then like you said, she's got chaos in her nature, and her chaotic nature will override uh, her feminine, beautiful feminine qualities. And that chaos will take over, will override and overshadow the system, order, and structure if she's not under system, order, and structure. And so um, fatherlessness is the only problem that the Black community has, is fatherlessness, because it's the father that is the policeman of the house, and he controls everything that goes on in that house. And since there are no more fathers in the Black community, the problem is Black females have fallen in love with the thug, rapper, criminal, gangster guys. Before, when we had fathers in the house, um, black females always wanted what they call square, geek, nerd, lame guys that they call today. They call regular guys square, geek, lames, nerds, and like Ebony said, bus drivers. Ebony
Exactly.
Williams. And so before crack cocaine, there was a nuclear bomb that hit the Black community, and that nuclear bomb, I gave it away, was called crack cocaine. And
Yeah,
before, go ahead,
the
sweetie.
crack epidemic was um the crack epidemic was something that truly damaged us, and I've done shows about its effect, because in reality it was a real life bioculturon event that we experienced. And so I typically use it to describe what a bioculturon actually is. But that's almost delving into another conversation. So what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna thank you, Brother Terrence, for coming up and sharing your thoughts with us. I'm gonna get a sister in here. I think she's having trouble though. Um, but I see a couple of women trying to get on, but they're coming on and jumping off. So we're gonna see if we can get some of the ladies on here. But I thank you so much
Oh, thank
for
you.
sharing thoughts with us
Thank you,
today.
good sister.
All right. All right. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Hey there. How you doing, Miss Siobhan?
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine. Are you good?
I'm good. So I'm going to be as quick as I possibly can. Because I'm being a mom right now. But
Okay.
I absolutely love your show. You have taught me so much since I've started watching you with my partner, your excellence. So I appreciate your work that you're doing. And can you remind me of the topic again?
Well, we were actually talking about what disqualifies, what has been disqualifying women from dating. However, you can talk about whatever you want, because I'm not necessarily restricting callers to that topic.
Okay. Well, I think in today's society, what is restricting a lot of women from dating and taking them off the market and things like that, I think it's because we just absolutely refuse to take accountability for our own actions. And not when you don't take accountability for your actions and what you're doing, that messes up your whole mindset. And when I listened to Kevin Samuels, and I've listened to you and Danica, and just realizing how to take accountability with myself and my relationship has really gotten me and him a lot further. And I think it's just us not taking accountability. That is, I think, one of the biggest things that is stopping women from being in relationships.
Okay. So, and I agree with you. Lack of accountability has been the Achilles heel for women since almost forever. And it's gotten even worse in today's climate because of feminism and all of the different things in which women are doing and then being praised for. But I want to ask you a question, Miss
Okay.
Yvonne. What was the thing, or when were you aware of you having to take accountability in your relationship? What got you to
Um,
that point?
I think what for me it was we have twins, and after we had the twins, him and I definitely had some issues, and I just wanted to just blame him. And I grew up in a two-parent household, so I had my mom and my dad were they're still together to this day, and I said I don't want to have to explain to my boys that I couldn't get along with their dad for whatever the reasons were. So they might have been 3 months, and that's a very difficult time when you're recovering from an emergency C-section and twins, and it's all a new thing. And I was expecting things from him that I felt that I've never even spoken to him that I wanted him to do for me. And I'm like, how can I expect him to do something for me if I haven't even expressed it to him, as if I was expecting him to be a mind reader?
Mm-hmm. And I think that, thank you for that. And I think that trips up a lot of women, expecting men to do things for them or to just know instinctively what it is that we need, especially at times where we're making some really new adjustments. I've never birthed children, so I can't speak to all of the different hormonal changes and emotional changes and all of the different things that a woman will go through during her pregnancy and then immediately after birth, and then having to adjust to her schedule as a mother, especially if she's a first-time mom. I've raised children, but I've never had them. So that is a different experience. So I can only imagine all of the different things that are going through a woman's mind and heart. And we would love for somebody to just read our minds and say, here,
Yeah,
this is what you need. And let me
here
give
you
you
go.
what you need. And here you go. And you don't have to ask for it, and you don't have to express it, because a lot of times it's difficult for us to verbalize and articulate the emotional state that we are in, or what we're thinking, or what we want. However, that is where maturity comes in. And I want ladies to understand this. This is where maturity comes in for us. Emotional maturity for a woman means that she is able to articulate her emotions. She can
Yeah,
say what they are, because men don't get it unless we package it in a way that they can understand. And they can't understand crying, or just upset, or just moody, or just I'm not talking right now, or I don't want to be touched, or I don't. We get it, they don't get it. And so it's gonna start coming off as disinterest, or even at times disrespect, or it'll come
right,
off as, what I'm saying, we're not paying him no attention, or we don't like him, or we don't want him, or we don't, whatever it is. It can come off a million different ways. But this is why it's so incredibly important for us to be able to say and speak peace on what we are feeling, what we're thinking, in a clarified way. And that gives him an opportunity to meet our needs, because we've said what our needs were. And then we're able, if we're smart ladies, to reciprocate to him. When he talks and tells us what his needs are, then we can also make sure to meet that need. So I'm gonna give you the last word, Miss Siobhan, and then we're gonna get Miss Jada on for a little bit.
Right. So I just want to piggyback off of what you said as far as being able to correctly express our needs and wants. And I'm just now slowly moving into a place because I almost fell into that trap. I'm strong, I'm independent, I can do it all by myself. Trap, with the boys because I was so afraid to just ask for help or didn't know how to, verbalize it properly. I'm just thinking like, oh, he's just supposed to know. He's a dad. He's just supposed to know. And I was like, they don't have that natural instinct like women do. So that's what I wanted to say. Like, they don't have that natural instinct like women do. And now I'm in a better place where I'm learning to verbalize when I need help or my wants and needs.
Exactly. So I want to thank you so much, Miss Siobhan, for coming
Thank
up and
you.
giving us a little bit of your time. I see your excellence in the background, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Miss Jada up and we are going to continue the conversation. So thank you so much, Miss Siobhan.
Thank you. I love you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hello.
You.
Sorry, you're frozen.
Am I frozen? Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you now. Hi, okay. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you feeling today?
I am doing really good. Thank you so much for having me on.
No
problem. For your question, I just wanted to say, I think that a lot of women have trouble accepting that they may be wrong about the way that they originally think. So, for example, when I first met my boyfriend and he introduced me to like the red pill mindset and thinking about femininity, I was deep into my feminism kind of mindset. And I was like, oh, whatever. And then he showed me your channel and I was like, oh, she's just bashing Black women, just another person bashing Black women, right? But then I did some exploring on my own. And I was like, dang, a lot of this is making sense. A lot of women aren't friendly. A lot of women don't want to hear what a man's side, don't want to hear how they can contribute to worsening a relationship or contribute to actually bringing grace and bringing goodness into a relationship. Mm-hmm. And so I think that in itself is a problem widely in the world that a lot of people just don't want to learn to think a new way. Like I always say now, like I know so little about so much, but I want to learn more. And a lot of people, especially women in this particular context, they just think the way that they've done things is the right way. And there's no need to change. There's no need to grow. And I said this earlier. Now, I don't call my boyfriend daddy, but I did understand what Monique was saying about her husband raising her. I think that my boyfriend teaching me about the red pill mindset is him helping me grow up. I'm 25, he's 28. And so he's had a little bit more experience in this stuff, and I appreciated it. But if I had never had the open mind to learn new things, then I wouldn't be here today. I would still be bashing men, just blaming men, blaming everybody else with no real openness to learning more. So thank you for listening to me.
You are very welcome, Ms. Jada. And I'm glad that you came on, and I'm glad that you came on as a young woman in her journey as a woman and becoming more mature and learning more and being willing and open to learn more. Because I know that a lot of times when women first are introduced to my channel, they go, excuse me, I know she ain't, you know what I'm saying? She tripping because she's saying, what did she say? Because it is jarring. And I know it's jarring. And I know it's jarring because this is the way we grew up in this society, right? Especially younger generations of women. A lot of times we are no longer growing up seeing the example of traditional women. We're not seeing an example a lot of times of a cohesive household. We are not seeing, and furthermore, women are not feeling validated for any of that. The validation is coming from the mindset of we can blame other people, we can blame men for what they're doing. What I'm doing as a young woman is right because I'm getting validation from that. I'm getting validation from other women who agree, with me and I agree with them. I'm getting validation from men to a certain degree because they're willing to date me and they are willing to, talk to me. They're willing to have sex with me. They're willing to take me out, and things of that nature. So what I'm doing, that's how women work. If what we're doing appears to us to get some positive feedback or positive validation, we're going to keep doing that thing. We're going to keep repeating it until somebody comes along and erases that validation. And so I'm happy for you. How long have you been together with him?
We've been together for a little over 2 years now.
A little over 2 years. Okay.
Yeah. So we live together. We're building a life together. He's grinding, trying to make a life for us so that when it's time for us to be engaged and married and stuff, we just have that common goal, that common mindset. So, and I appreciate your channel so much too, because what I had to realize when I was watching it is like, she's talking to Black women with love and care. And the only people you want to really check you and to really go harsh on you are the people who want to talk with you with love and care in their hearts. And so thank you so much, Ms. Kendra, for having this. I think it's very valuable. I have introduced it a little bit to some of my friends who I think might be ready for it. You do have to be ready for it.
You definitely do.
I know that I'm definitely gaining a lot from it. So thank you so much. And I think this call-in idea is amazing.
No problem. And thank you so much, Miss Jada. Good luck to you and your boyfriend. I hope you guys make it into marriage and a whole life together. I'm rooting for you. Okay, sweetheart?
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your evening.
All right, you too. Bye-bye. Okay, so we got a brother. We're going to let the brother come up. And thank you all for all of the support. I really appreciate you all. But here we go. How you doing, Your Excellence? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Just leaving work. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. I just feel honored, blessed, all of those things that I'm sure you don't really want to hear, but you're up there in my book. The things you've been doing and how you interact with the community, the Black community in particular, you're one of a kind. I want to start with that, and then also, they don't want to give you a plaque, but in the hearts of us, you're far past the silver. You're platinum iridium status.
Thank you.
but I do. It does go into disqualification, but I don't know if it disqualified. I think it's like a perpetual disqualification, Crimson. And I use this analogy with my girl, my woman, and it's almost like we men made it across the battlefield full of landmines. Some of us didn't make it across that battlefield full of landmines. Our sisters keep standing firm and digging these ditches. Maybe she only dug a ditch, but then another one comes and sets a landmine in that ditch. So it's almost like they want us Black men to retract our steps, maneuver through these landmines, deactivate them, all while they keep putting more landmines in this field. And I don't see how, unless they come deactivate these landmines, I don't see how they're going to make it towards us. They either got to go through this field. Why do we got to go back and risk our limbs and life and all of that? So it's just like a perpetual thing. They keep digging themselves in a hole. They keep standing firm on things that ain't getting them nowhere, or the Black community.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that I try to reiterate on the channel. And it seems super repetitive, and maybe it is to a certain degree. But I'm trying to get women to understand that what you've been standing on, what you've been doing, what you've been believing, what you've been allowing other women to tell you is not real. You're going to have to look at the reality of the situations, the outcomes. And this is why I say we live in the failure of feminism, because it's been going on long enough that we've seen the earlier generations of women who did it fail. So we've now actually seen the outcome. So how is it that you are still confused about the outcome that you're headed to, because you're going down the exact same pathway with the exact same mindset that these women who have failed, and they can tell you they're not failing. I mean, we got Lisa Ray at 60 talking about what kind of man she's not going to date. Sis, you got to sit down. Okay, you got to sit down at this point. You're too old. The 60-year-old and the 20-year-old should not have the same mindset. It's just not something that should. There's a problem if a woman who's 20 and a woman who's 60 are thinking and moving and talking and speaking the same way, because that means that there has been no emotional or mental growth for the women in general. Women used to become wise. Okay, even if your grandmama was running the street back then, if once by the time she gets 60, 70, 80, she can tell you don't run the street because I ran the street. It's nothing in the street. I lucked up and got your big daddy. So don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that, because this is going to lead you down a bad path. But there's someone in the background that I want to bring up. So I want to thank you, Your Excellency,
Thank you.
for coming up and spending some time with us today.
All right. Appreciate it.
No problem. So this one is going to be the last one that I take.
Assalamu alaikum, baby.
Walaikum assalam, sweetheart. This is Unc. Y'all wanted Unc.
Hi, everybody.
This is Unc right here. Matrix Coffee and Blunt. I told you he'd be in the chat room.
I heard the good brother. He conjured me up. I tried to stay in the background for as long as I could stay in the background. And the good brother, he had to call my name. And I tell my wife all the time, you say my name 3 times, I'll pop up.
Gonna pop up.
I'll pop up. Don't say no. Don't say my name too many times. I'll pop up. But I appreciate everybody out there who follows my wife, follow what she says, what she does. I appreciate her from the time that I seen her, the time that I met her. Her mind is somewhere else. And if you can just get there with her, you're gonna be in a beautiful place. And we got a big vision. We have a big vision that we see for all of the followers and all of the subscribers that she has. And I look forward to doing great and beautiful and wonderful things with her and all of the followers. We got a lot of stuff planned, like I said. So I hope y'all stay in tune. We're going to bring as many Black men and Black women together, you know, and marriage status. We want to upraise them, level them, take them to another level. So I look forward to doing this and bringing together the Black community on a whole level. Look at Big T. My baby so cute.
I don't know how we gonna do Uncle and Auntie, because I'm gonna be sitting cheese on the whole side.
And you know I'm on the road. I had to pull over. I listened to my wife's show because I love listening to my wife talk and run her mouth, because I like to run my mouth too. So she have good conversation, which a lot of females lack nowadays, is good conversation. And you know, she makes sense when she talks. So you want to listen to her. Sometimes she get in her ways. We'll talk about that. We're gonna leave full disclosure for the show, but yeah, I love it though. You got it, but I believe with your wife, you should be patient, and just as she should be patient with you. So I'm very much patient with my wife, and you know, like I said, we taking our time. We growing this thing as we grow in our relationship, and the more you know, our relationship grows, I hope the people grow with us, and you know, we make a big, beautiful nation of married people, spiritual married people, because that's what's missing. If y'all really want to know the key to what's missing in our community, men is spirituality. Men is spirituality. Men is spiritual. I'm speaking to the men now. It's spirituality. When you get your spirituality intact, everything else falls in line. I'm gonna give y'all a Jew before I leave. I don't want to be too long, take up too much of my wife's time. But my uncle taught me this, mate. Allah forgive him for his sins and grant him paradise. He said, if you can't get a woman to listen to God, the one who created her, she'll never listen to you.
And that's true. That's so many facts.
If you can't get a woman to the one who created her, gave her life, taught her all the things that she inherently knows. If you can't get that her to worship that or believe in that person, she'll never follow you. And that's what's missing. If we stand firm on our spirituality, that's what's missing. And a lot of brothers that grew up in my time, they understand what I'm saying. Because during my time, brothers who was Muslim, they was Muslim. 5%ers was 5%ers. Christians was Christians. Everybody who said they was about something, they was about that. You had to be about that. There was no YouTube make-believe fantasy thing. You had to be about what you said you was about. And when people saw you, they respected you because they knew that's what you was, and that's the spiritual ground you stand on. And whether you be Christian, Muslim, Israelite, we all had respect for one another, and we all protected everybody, protected each other. It was easy for us to protect the women because we knew the women were spiritual women. We knew the women wasn't out there doing things they didn't have no business doing. So it was easy for us to protect them. We had no problem dying for the women. But nowadays, everybody's bunched in. You don't know who for who, and God has separation. So we gotta have separation. He separates the good from the bad, the right from the wrong, the evil. So if God separate, we gotta separate too. We gotta start separating ourselves and distinguishing ourselves and making ourselves known to the people, making the people aware of who we are. These are who we are. We are the people who follow this. And if y'all not on this, then we can't help you. And that's all I would say. I'm not gonna take up too much of my baby time. But aunt and uncle, uncle and auntie is coming soon, and book signing, the forum, the femininity
Femininity
tour,
classes.
the classes, the femininity tour. Let's call it what we really want to be. You know, a femininity tour, and we ain't gonna tolerate no nonsense. And the sister will be well protected. Believe me when I tell you. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you, baby. I'm gonna speak to you in a little bit. I'll see you in a little bit. I
Okay.
love you.
I love you too.
Yeah, I love, and I love all y'all out there, and y'all keep striving for excellence because that's what we got to do. Strive for excellence.
Okay.
Peace.
Alaikum.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to end the show. Unc done came through. So now I gotta end the show. I'm not taking any more calls this evening. I'm sorry. I know I see the brother in the background. Maybe next Friday when I had a call-in show again, we can do this again. I actually enjoy speaking to you all. So thank you so much for supporting. And let me get to the rest of these super chats. Let's see. Desealed said that is true. Crimson Cure, but I only see men defending women who are acting out of pocket, hitting men, said men when treats her like a man gets jumped. Thank you, Luciana, for your super sticker. Thank you, Shelton, for your contribution as well. Said Black women normally check other women when it comes to their kids or over a dude that don't even want them. That's actually true. Thank you, Charles. And my niece takes kids from moms. Okay. Thank you, Seti. Said, I hate to see lionesses fight hyenas because hyenas play dirty. They will love to scar and disfigure a beautiful woman. Thank you, Taurus 24/7. Said, I can always get a hyena a Chick-fil-A meal on a Sunday. Thank you, Bella, for your contribution, sweetheart. Thank you, Stefan. Said, if Black women want to move towards repairing a relationship with us, they can start by no longer calling us the N-word. That's actually a key. I don't think a lot of people recognize that or think about that. Thank you, Miss 39 Dina. Thank you again. Stephen said finally. Thank you so much, Terrence. The love you have for your husband is so refreshing. Hashtag Memphis. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much for that generous contribution. Thank you, Yaki said, bro, what's good? Salute. You made me miss my press, y'all. It was a blessing hearing your voice. Thank you so much. And thank you, Elder Ben, for your super sticker and your support as well. I appreciate everybody up. He do. He always do that. I get like that in private as well. I'll be like, so y'all finally got to see Unc. Y'all gonna see more of him. Once we start doing Unc and Auntie, y'all are gonna see more of him and hear more from him. So now y'all know Unc is Matrix. And if y'all from the Bronx, you actually should know who Matrix is. Like we're not gonna play games with that. If you're from the Bronx and you have been to any gym or done any calisthenics, you actually should know who Matrix is. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.